Let me. Okay, let's see if I can make this work. I'm gonna share screen here. And let's see if we can do this whole thing. Okay, there we go. Um, yeah, I want to thank y'all for coming. Just so you know, I've lived in a lot of really cool places, but much to my chagrin, I did spend close to half my life in South Carolina, and a lot of that in Columbia, which Columbia is also known as Soda City because the abbreviation is COLA. So Soda City, ha ha ha. So I'm going to do some stuff that is related to where I'm from. And this first one is called Heritage. Yes, I'm from South Carolina, born and bred for better or worse. I won't say there's nothing finer. Yes, I'm from South Carolina. I don't want to be a liar. Place false praises into this verse. Yes, I'm from South Carolina, born and bred for better or worse. Please don't mistake me for someone who clings to the state's sordid past and to the lies so often spun. Please don't mistake me for someone who still believes the wrong side won. That rationale leaves me aghast. Please don't mistake me for someone who clings to the state's sordid past. I cannot see a cotton field without thinking of slavery and wounds that still have not been healed. I cannot see a cotton field without the pain being revealed of strange fruit on a southern tree. I cannot see a cotton field without thinking of slavery. I have some pleasant memories to balance out the negative. I see some forest through the trees. I have some pleasant memories, like most transplanted refugees. Still, it's not where I'd choose to live. I have some present pleasant memories to balance out the negative. Yes, I'm from South Carolina, born and bred for better or worse. For decades, I did my time here. Yes, I'm from South Carolina. I don't want to be a whiner about an accident of birth. Yes, I'm from South Carolina, born and bred for better or worse. And moving on, I was very blessed to have two parents, both of whom were born in South Carolina. My dad is from Bishopville, and my mom is from Aiken. And they were both really wonderful. And my mom had this amazing ability to just remember poetry and recite it to me from the time I was an infant. And this poem um, is called Langston. Little boy on lap, mother reads Langston Hughes. This poem started there. And at least one person here will know this actually isn't a picture of the exact place, but it's the closest I could find. And this is somewhere that I went for most of my life. And if I was back in South Carolina, there's a good chance I would go again. It's called To the Waterfall. We must first ask the farmer for permission to cross his fallow field. Admittance gained, we stride past passive cows long accustomed to occasional strangers. Crickets sing and leap in the high grass, At the far end, we climb over a gate, move from sunshine into cool woods under dense canopy of pine, maple, and sycamore. We follow time-worn, familiar trails, ear cocked to catch water's utterance and echo. Finding creek, we meander, following bank's edge, sneakers sliding over ground cover, kicking cones into swirling stream to watch them sail. Arriving at anticipated clearing, mud bank gives way to gray granite shelf bearing swift sparkling falls, sliding down sandy slope, grasping slim trunks of bending saplings, slipping onto gravel-rich sandy shoal, stripping to swimsuits, clothes draped on boulders or left hanging like warning flags on low branches, keds and cons anchoring jeans, sweaty t-shirts flounder against sweltry, humid gusts, scampering towards adventure's goal, spectacular point of plummet, feet sink under spindly legs, leaves submerged trails, crouching as we part the veil, thick, clear wall of slow cascade fringed by sprinkle and spray, falls, parting curtain, pouring over polished brim of cataract, drips hushed by moss carpeting, sliding over algae slicks. We slip between wide lips into narrow cave, mere yards from front to back. Thin triangular mouth like aperture, dark and cool. Inside, red and yellow salamanders curl and scamper through fingers, resting momentarily on open palms, then diving acrobatically to slick stone home, disappearing in an instant. Exiting the cave, we float in the current sculpted pool of rounded sand and stone just past the cascade before the next narrows. Extended X-shaped buoyant buoys on our backs, eyes up at the sky, guessing the weather to come from shape of passing clouds. Towel dry, we replace outer garments, stuff soaked terry cloth into knapsack, climb back up bank sideways, feet digging into soil, sit in circle on flat rock next to point where rolling water greets gravity, descends with wonder towards thin, trickling serpentine future home to tadpoles, crayfish, and minnows. Pulling sandwiches from sack, we dine, a simple picnic ending with apples whose cores we toss across the water, marking the strongest, furthest throw. Sun long past overhead, casting late afternoon shadows, our signal, retracing steps, bidding gentle cows goodbye and good night. We leave, dripping knapsack tossed into trunk, stowaway creek water, journeys on down country lane, past pine forests and fields, fence posts melting in exhausted adolescent eyes, drunk with clung to flasks elixir, reflection sediment of brewed adventure, falling into slumber, following nature's gravity from journey to diversion to remembrance. And one time we were up there, and my best friend got separated from us, and I made the note that we couldn't see forest for the trees. And speaking of that guy, there's the two of us not too long ago. And this isn't the actual piano in his mother's house, but it's a similar one. And this poem is called 50 Years and More. 50 years and more of friendship have passed since first I heard him play. Stubby, childish fingers drew out beauty from piano keys. Little boy boogie woogies into Bach and back. I sat on floor and pile of vinyl, watching toes stretch out to find pedals. Others found him awkward and they ostracized, but I knew better. Saw the soul that soared, stuck in a small town full of bigots, picked on for being indescribably different. I knew they were fools, dimwit bullies. I wish their ignorance didn't hurt, idiocy didn't hurt him. Yet I could see it did, only not how much. Hard to see from outside, no matter how close. After 50 plus years, the love and admiration has never faded. Occasional phone calls and rare visits are treats. Now, in a miracle of the pandemic induced Zoom age, I've enticed him into joining in with a global community open mic. After so many years, I'm blessed to hear his hands caress keys and bring forth beauty once again. I smile wide as someone asks, "Who wrote that?" knowing it came straight from his heart as pure improvisation. What a gift, what a wonder, what a privilege, what a joy. Feeling just as happy watching my friend play as I did 50 years and more before when I was a little boy. And moving on, amazingly enough, if I'm not mistaken, this is the exact house that I lived in for a while. Even though I lived all over this neighborhood in at least five different houses, but this is actually the one I was living in for what this poem is. And this is Blues for Olympia. Just one more shotgun shack on the riverside of the Mill Village. Have to jump the train to get across Olympia Avenue. It's okay when it's going slow. Feral cats in every front yard moving in a pack at dinner time. Nancy is on the front porch eating cornflakes on the couch, laughing as the lightning bugs arrive. Shade tree mechanic wannabe has a carburetor disassembled on a blanket in the driveway. Squirrel hides a ripe pecan in a valve. That car will be on bricks for a while. The band is playing something strictly acoustic in the backyard, song mixing with fire pit smoke, twanging blues and tangy barbecue. Tim went off to get more ice for the keg. Chameleon frozen on peeling gray wall can't match the paint, but tries its best. Pat's hands are stained from tie-dyeing t-shirts and a sheet and a blue sundress. Better job changing color than the lizard. There's no getting rid of palmetto bugs, just an attempt to reach a detente of sort. They'll be here after the last human bites it. I think the fuckers know full well they're winning. They snort boric acid off the table like Scarface. Second floor bedroom, hot as Hades without AC. Even minus sex, the bed is soaked with sweat. Box fan fell out the window, landed on a pup. Poor mutt ran all the way to the quarry, yelping. Little yellow hounds make a pitiful sound. Shane said he saw a rattler in the woods near the riverbank when he went fishing. His mama's glad he didn't try to bring it home. Says his curiosity is a prayer in a prison and he best keep the good sense key close at hand. Steve crashed into time and crumbled in a flash. Joe's brain rolled smoking off the tracks. Tony and Tom cracked open and went rotten. Those that still could crawled or limped or ran. No one got out without scars that tell the tale. And again, in the same house, uh, this is not the actual table, but it amazingly looks so much like it. It freaks me out that I was able to find this. And this is called Table Whaley Street. It wasn't much of a table, an unpainted wooden door, old, weathered, and worn, hinge brackets and doorknobs still in place, sitting on four stolen zinc plated milk crates, pressing into a cheap oriental pattern rug stained with wine, beer, bong water, ashes, and God only knows what else, encircled by a motley assortment of mismatched chairs and raggedy old gnawed couch facing plywood and concrete block shelves, groaning with vinyl LPs and always blasting audio equipment. So many parties, large and small, so many conversations, verbal and visual, casual and intense, vague and meaningful, from late night till morning till night after night. So many sessions passing around sketchbooks, fashioning collaborative drawings, grabbing assorted shades of magic markers, sprawled like pickup sticks over the rough wooden palette. So many meals pulled together from scraps and magic piled onto paper plates, consumed communally with hedonistic abandon. So many angry games of risk that never ended well. So many feral kittens bouncing and scurrying over mounds of textbooks, ashtrays, and cigar boxes full of dime bags and quarter ounces. So many guitar cases left open, leaning like drunks for balance, spilling picks and chord charts, so many coats and jackets and shirts and socks and underwear and towels and blankets left in fetid piles, so many trinkets and treasures and moments of pleasure on and around an orphan slab of board that focused a family of freaks, a collective of like minds that centered a home in which anything could happen. And this one is called Damn Good Barbecue. We didn't drink the Kool-Aid, but we drank a lot of mushroom tea and ate a lot of damn good barbecue and ran laughing through the streets day and night. We danced and played and fucked and drank and slept whenever the spirit beamed and whenever we careened, and all too often with whoever was in the other half of the dream. We could have built a house from stems and seeds. We could have lived inside harmonies, but too much of a good thing will always end by crashing in rundown Victorians and a long string of shotgun shacks, making installations out of knickknacks and detritus that led to lots of nothing, which was perfect when you think about it. Sometimes even making art that literally flew away. It might have been nice to take a picture, but it doesn't matter anyway. It was all about the moment we let go. And I really wish I could have better pictures for this next piece, but I was unable to get any of the ones I had to work. So I just went with some things of the Grow Cafe, which was sort of the center of our insanity. And two out of the three people in that picture are gone. The one in the middle, Wendy, is still a dear friend, and the Hulk, amazingly enough, still remains there. And the guy on the right is the Richard, is the one who painted that Hulk. Great, great artist, great guy. But this is called The Collective for Bill Wood. Crowd vibrates to bands buzzing. Right. Let me start that over. Crowd vibrates to band, brains buzzing louder than amplifiers, music pulled along, its rhythm in sync with 100 hallowed hallucinations, sacred snake pit of dance, sways in ecstasy, shroom stoked celebration, another weekend grooving at the Grow Cafe when the collective is in the house. And I will mention that we do have one member of the band in the room here today. I don't think I need to say who. And time to bring y'all down a little bit. This is for one of my dear friends and ex-girlfriend from that time. And it's called Lisa. No suicide shattered me like Lisa's. The pain stabs deep when it's someone you love. From the edge, angels whispered on breezes, but demons in her mind gave her the shove. She'd call, desperate and incoherent, left rambling messages on the phone. When I picked up, listened to her lament, I'd try to pull her from the danger zone. Her brain betrayed her, was a saboteur. When last she talked, when we talked, she was so paranoid. with a gun some brainless fool had lent her. She fled her torment, leapt into the void. Those left behind vainly search for answers, but we don't succeed as necromancers. And y'all probably know these guys. I'm going to close with this one. It's called Rock Lobster. We never had more fun than flopping to the floor and rising wobbly armed as Fred and Kate belted out the chorus and Ricky strummed all four of his guitar strings while Cindy yokoed all the sea creatures before we crashed harder than waves on the beach and woke up in the morning on the living room shag, curled up where we last fell with whoever fell there with us, wanting nothing more than to do it all over again. So thank y'all very much. Really appreciate it. There we go.
Thank you so much, Michael. Oh my word. Exactly 20 minutes. You're very conscientious feature. Was